Okay, the recording has started. Hello, everyone, for the checking the date, the August 6th iteration of the MicroProfile live Hangout. We have the meeting notes in the chat. If someone wants to repaste that in again, that might be helpful because I think people that joined don't see the old chat. Also, it is everyone's shared responsibility to take notes, and please do so during the call. Also, in the meeting minutes, there is a contributor section, so anyone who joins the call, please add your name, and hopefully organization that you work with or just an individual contributor, feel free to say that as well. All right, so let's get started with the call. So, roadmap updates. Edwin.
Yeah, start with the fun things. For MicroProfile 3.1, I am unmuted, right? Yeah. First, let's start off with any config updates, maybe. So anyone from config online? Emily?
Yeah, so basically it's I attempting to say maybe it's a kind of push for the next year January release, because I realized actually at the moment in the config we got backward incompatible changes already for the dynamic config changes. I think if we go ahead to do a config 1.4, we have to back out quite a lot of things. So at this moment, I would just say remove the config from MP 3.1 for now.
Okay, then we can remove you from the list then, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll just do that. Oh, not so harshly, but okay.
Everyone, I will take a screenshot instead of my cell phone. I'm being told that my photos are too blurry for white papers and fun stuff, so I need one cool one. Smiley faces while everyone does everything. Thanks.
that hurts.
Done. Go ahead.
Like your style, Michael.
Yeah. Just a second. Where is the?
There we go. Yeah, Emily, if you could update that, maybe the config update in the MicroProfile 3.1 section.
There. All right. So that's it for config then. Anyone from metrics around that can give us an update?
Yes, we still plan to be included. We are making smaller changes. So basically fixing issues that arrived, do clarifications in the text and whatnot, to update a few works with dependencies where we already have either submitted a CQ ourselves or are just piggybacking on existing CQs. So I would say we are well on track.
All right. Anyone from health around in the call?
Yeah, hello. There is nothing really new. We are also fixing bugs, and I don't know of any CQs that are pending yet. So we should be on track.
All right. John, could you possibly elaborate on the next topic for the component releases?
So just a reminder for everyone that the component releases have to be due, are due for September 11th to be included in the MicroProfile 3.1 release. When I submitted a review request for MP 3.1, I got a note back basically saying, if you release a new version of the spec within the same year, so I'm assuming within a year, then you do not have to submit an Eclipse request review, probably unless it's a major version update. I have to go back and read the updated process, and I'll when I get it, I'll post a link in the meeting minutes.
Can you also clarify on the component releases due? So does this mean they already need to be at GA or could be RC, or what is the state here?
Yeah. I got to take a mental note of that. I think for the CQs, you can submit CQs on an RC release. Right, because typically you know ahead of time what frameworks that you're going to use for testing or whatever, right? So most specs will already know what those CQs are. So I suspect that you can submit those ahead of time.
Yeah, no, but my specs or metrics, would that need to be GA on September 11, or would an RC be enough? So that we have the GA on whatever 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later.
Let me chat with Kevin on that. We've done, I think, RCs before, but I just want to double check with Kevin on that.
So if I remember correctly for the CQ, so basically it's the before your CQ is approved, you're not allowed to do the final release. But when you do the CQ, you do not need to have a release already. So basically, you can do a CQ now if it's like you are thinking you want to pull in any changes. So basically, what I'm trying to say is you can buy a CQ anyway.
No, this is not a question, but if the umbrella only releases, I don't know, September 11, so that means at least 2 weeks later. So let's just say September 25th for easiness here. So do I need to have my the metrics or health check or whatever release to be done GA on September 11? Or would that be enough on September 20th if the umbrella release is on September 25th?
I think you need to do September 11th. So
but
that you have
also the full GA, you mean, of metrics?
Yeah. So
Okay.
before, because when you do this, all the Eclipse trying to go through all the kind of all data and etc. So they want the release. They wanted you have finalized things.
Okay, but can I, if I finalize, if I release a GA, then Eclipse wants to check it, which is where I do not need to submit it if it's part of an umbrella. So this is a bit of this chicken egg problem that I'm currently having here. So in the past we had said, okay, metrics is part of the umbrella, so metrics itself does not submit for review because the umbrella does it.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I think is in the past. I think is John said is run past Kevin. I think in the past, I think what you are saying is you click the button to say you trigger the Eclipse review process. I think is we do not want to trigger that release. Click on that link to say, do the questionnaire. All the questionnaire and etc. Only umbrella release going to do the a review, one review.
Yep.
Yeah, and let Kevin and I will chat about this, and Edwin have a conversation about this for before next week, and we'll jot that down.
Okay, cool.
It's probably already, to be honest, it might already be in the release process, but I don't want to, go and get kind of distracted on that right now. But we'll have an answer for next week, next meeting.
Okay, perfect.
May I ask, because we're talking about the releases, how well are we doing with the documentation while we go through the process?
What do you mean? You mean the update the wiki to document the release process?
Yeah, we found out in the last release 3.0 that we waited until the last minute for some of that, and we missed some things. So the recommendation, I remember Ken being super nice, and he's one of the trainees with John and Edwin, that we would, yeah, we will do better this time at tracing and tracking documentation as we move forward, and instead of waiting for last minute, oh, shoot, I forgot this. How are we doing on that?
Yeah, I think you're quite right. I think Edwin will look at the release steps, follow the steps, and update the wiki if anything not documented clearly.
Mm-hmm.
So I did, when I submitted the 3.1 release for review, setting a date for them to review, I actually went through and jotted down all the steps that I took and tried to be, pretty thorough with it. So next time through, hopefully we'll be able to, someone will be able to validate those steps. But I did kind of go through that and updated the wiki.
That's amazing, John. Edwin.
Don't say it's amazing until you read them.
Yes.
I have not read them, so yes. Edwin, have you read them?
I have read them. I'm piggybacking along with John, so all good here.
That's amazing.
I know.
I'm much more humble than Edwin.
You know what? You know what? You cannot be humble when you're doing such a good job.
Yeah. Okay.
Work is speak for yourself. So stop the bullshit there.
Sorry, I'm joking around a little bit too much. All right, let's maybe go on to the next section.
Yeah, because we have a standalone upgrade from LRA. I see good news there. Who is online from LRA, possibly?
So Michael gave an update. Yeah, he's in the apologies, and he wrote this this status update. So I think it looks like there's some outstanding issues with the TCK. However, the group feels we need to have at least one implementation ready before release. So they're waiting for an implementation before the spec is actually released. If it's feasible, they can produce the release this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, before they release, they need to make sure the implementation passed all TCKs.
Yeah, we are getting there with Narayana.
Yeah.
All right, so I hope in the next session another update on that. But until now, it looks good. So then.
So I mean, when we talk about standalone release, what about CQRS? Oh no, sorry. What about GraphQL? Because I think it's been talked about a few times. Is that ready for the standalone release?
No, sorry, Philip here. We're aiming, so far we're aiming for October. We were hoping to get something done by September before Oracle Code 1, but we're not going to make it. Now we're aiming for October. I'm not 100% sure that we're going to make that either, but we are ticking along slowly but surely.
Right. Okay.
All right. Nice. Okay, then through with the updates, I guess. Next topic is for Heiko. Any status on MP logging?
Yeah, there was a discussion about MP logging here on the call, and then there's a group thread with, I don't know, 95 individual messages, and I sort of wanted to get a TLDR, because when this originally came up, I also thought, like this XKCD, we have 20 logging frameworks, we don't need the 21st and the 22nd. But meanwhile, I've done some work with looking at logging stuff and whatnot, and I can see benefit progressing here in a certain in the area of structured logging. So making sure that log output is structured, and that we, for example, always include like a trace ID and these kind of things. So this is just where I wanted to hear if someone knows an update.
I thought Alex did a PR on the sandbox, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Anybody know where? Because I think from the previous conversation, he will go ahead to create a PR though.
Yeah, so far goes my understanding as well. I saw something like that come around, but no follow-up on that yet.
That's strange. Is this was a PR was closed without being merged?
Okay, I'll have a look there.
Emily, did you see he actually created a PR for that?
I thought from the reading mailing list and etc. I thought he created a PR. Perhaps I was wrong, but I cannot see his PR. Okay, I will try to. Oh yeah, I think I will follow up with him.
Okay, the next topic is just a reminder that we have another committer vote. And in the past, we had committer votes with only, I don't know, 3 or so votes by 20 or 30 committers that we have. Already looks already much better. So
No,
obviously,
we 47 or 47.
or 47. But anyway, in the past, we had really votes with only a very minimal amount of people. And I think this is a bit depressing. So I wanted to remind people to vote, but obviously this has happened already. So Ken is next.
Sorry, I was just going to say before we drop off this topic, I think it's a good idea that we put reminders in here in the meeting minutes. If well, just in general, I think it's a good idea.
You know, I wanted to go farther on this, and I wanted to see if this is possible. Whomever submits someone for committed status needs to go the extra mile to send a note with the link to the forum. So say this person has been assigned. It can be just one sentence and say committed. The person might get a -1, but I think it's important for us to get the extra mile. Sometimes, not even if you're not a contributor, a committer, you should know exactly what's happening when you are in the forum. My recommendation is that everyone gets those emails, and then we're like, oh wow, that person. I just came with that person, so maybe I would be next or something like this. That is exciting, it's fun, and Heiko is correct. We should add it not only to the minutes, but maybe go the extra mile. That would be my recommendation here. For those that are not committers, I think we want to include everyone in this community. And I do the test, the differentiation, but it happens, and we need it. So let's bring it together. What do we think about this?
All right. I mean, I think it's a good idea. So putting a note in the Google Groups is a good idea. Maybe adding an entry for the next live Hangout is a good idea. Not that the discussion has to happen in the live Hangout, but it's just a good reminder. The discussion in the thread.
Mm-hmm. Heiko, are you okay to own that task to send it to, even though I don't see...
Question though, before we do this. I thought that votes automatically went to the MicroProfile dev mailing list. So anybody can subscribe to that and everyone should be getting notification already.
I think they changed the stuff and only now goes to the committers, Kevin.
No, I don't think so.
No. No. Everyone on MicroProfile dev will get the notification.
Yeah, so Martin, I guess you're, since you're being voted on, you would know. So are you seeing the votes and the communication out there?
Yeah, it's
Great.
normally on MicroProfile dev.
And can you tell me how many microprofiles we have in that list? I am added to that list, but how many in this list, in this thing, know about that dev list? I don't think many. I'm just telling you facts.
Okay,
Right.
so the way I would look at that then is we already have a mechanism for people to be notified. I mean, I get them. I just couldn't remember which alias it was on. You know, if you want to be notified of committers, put a note in the meeting minutes to join the dev mailing list.
Okay, we're going to do that then, because I just took it for granted. Let's fix this. Okay, I own this task then. Let me see how many, and then I send a forum thing. Just whomever is writing the minutes that I can do myself, I will own this. We can move to the next topic. This is awesome, and thank you, Heiko.
And Ken, I got one more interruption. Sorry, I'm not trying to delay you at all. There were a couple of times people joined the calls with their mics turned on, so I've muted you. So as folks join, just be aware that if I mute you, no offense intended, but there is background noise. So all right, sorry, Edwin. Oh, it's me. Sorry, since I'm doing the agenda. Okay, Ken.
Okay, so the next two are mine. The first one is to discuss something I raised on the group maybe 2 or so weeks ago, which was whether we wanted to institute some kind of branch policy for the repositories on GitHub so that we don't have basically branches on GitHub that aren't actual specification branches. So for some of this, well, probably a lot of specification, there's a lot of branches that look like they might have been created by people doing a PR. They might be kind of like other weird things, and it's just very confusing for people coming to look and seeing all these branches in addition to master. So I know there was some feedback in the forum that seemed positive with the idea, but I just wanted to run it past this group before we started doing anything.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
What are we looking for in terms of policy?
So the other thing is actually we could go this way. The other thing what we can do, I mean for branches, if someone have some IDE plugin for creating branches and etc., maybe after they have committed their changes and etc. and delete that branch. In this way, their branch will not be cluttered with the master and also other things. But for the branches, I think we only have master, and because when we release that, it's all tags and etc. So basically, it's a cleanup policy. So make sure is after the PR is done and etc. is nothing showing up. Your personal branch will not be listed.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that they shouldn't be created in the upstream repo anyway. Particularly if it's a personal PR you're creating, you should be doing it against your own repo, and then opening a pull request. You shouldn't be pushing branches to upstream, because that can potentially lead to issues by inadvertently pushing to master because we have the rights to, and then you end up clobbering stuff in master. Now, granted, it's Git, so we can get everything back, but it's more an inconvenience. And it's just safer if we don't promote the way of creating pull requests by pushing to a different branch of upstream.
Are we also going to lock down the permissions then?
No, I wasn't talking anything like that, because that involves getting Eclipse webmasters involved and doing all that kind of stuff. And frankly, I think that would probably be too complex for them to try and grasp. It's more a case of being vigilant about us not doing those things, and then just every so often maybe going through and clearing out anything that might have been inadvertently created that way.
Yep. I see no problem with that, Ken. And I know I'll admit some of my earlier ones, I was doing personal branches against the main repository before I started forking. So, I think that's fine with trying to keep it cleaner. I just wanted to make sure that you were not saying that, we cannot have any other branches other than master.
Well, it depends how far you want to take it. Now, I know some in the thread commented that there shouldn't be any kind of collaborative feature branch work as well in upstream, that should be done on someone's repo, and then you can give people access to be able to push and all that kind of stuff. I think where it does make sense for branches in upstream is if there's a need to patch a previous release in some way.
Exactly.
It makes sense to have that kind of branch. But
Right.
anything other than that, probably not.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Ken.
Does this include the
Okay, yeah, I
sandbox?
think that's good. Sorry?
Does this include the sandbox?
To be honest, I don't know if the sandbox has multiple branches right now. I would say it probably makes sense because everything should be done through pull requests anyway.
Yeah, agreed. I don't see any reason.
If we have some specs being done on one branch and other specs on another branch, then it makes it very hard to try and bring them together again.
Yeah, agreed. I don't see any reason why we should go a different path.
So is if somebody, contribute a PR, so do we have to first check are they directly did the PR from their own repo? If not, do we reject?
No. No,
we can just give them a warning that next time they should do it against their own repository.
Exactly. Yeah, just use it as education.
That's the kind of a thing I'm trying to clarify. Yeah. So basically, it should be not like 1-0, kind of hard.
That shouldn't be too much of an issue, though, in the sense that it would only be MicroProfile committers that have the access to create branches anyway.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll try and find a good place to document that on the wiki or something like that, and also follow up with the thread as to what we've decided, and then maybe give every spec like a couple of weeks notice that they need to check what branches they currently have. Otherwise, they'll be deleted at the end of that 2-week period, just in case there is something that's important that they want to hang around and move somewhere else.
I mean, I think with the branches, I mean, there is an owner associated with it, right? So we could contact them directly as well.
For a branch, I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking wrong.
Well, I mean, we keep some patch branches around for all versions.
Right.
So
yeah, the patch ones I'm not concerned about.
Yeah, but if you just say everything other than masters deleted, then it may confuse people.
Yeah, so we wouldn't say it that way.
So what do you mean deleted? Are you going to go through the use the script to delete, or just manually ask the to check the branches and then?
Well, I'm in the thread I sent to the mailing list. I'll ask the specs to look to see whether there's any branches that aren't master or patched that they want to hang on to, and to ask them to move it. And if they want to delete the other ones that don't fit in those two categories, then they can. Otherwise, in a couple of weeks, there'll be some kind of cleanup that will happen.
Yeah, good idea. I don't think anyone would find it a weird idea to fork the repos and then do branches. That's such a common practice, so why not?
Well, my question about the cleanup, because I love maintenance and cutting debt now and instead of the future with messes. And how can we make this scalable so someone else can rotate, not only one person doing all the cleanup? Like, do we schedule that? What is the process? Because I don't believe in throwing in having the owner of the task be just one person. Ken?
Well, the optimistic me says hopefully it's a one-off task, and then after that we don't need to worry. Right. And that then maybe we put the onus onto the specifications to make sure that if something is created that doesn't need to be a branch, that it's removed. I'm hoping that's all that's needed.
Yeah, let's document it. It sounds simple enough, like 2 sentences.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I just looked at the top MicroProfile one because that's one I had most of mine there, and I just deleted all of mine, and I see that Andro has 2 others, and I'll contact him, and I think that'll be cleaned up.
Yeah, the other thing that, yeah, as we speak, I did a check for the configure fault tolerance. Actually, we have the permission to delete the kind of the branches even not owned by you. So, however, you can restore them if someone come back, because some branch created like 3 months ago or 1 year ago and etc. And then I think we can clean up. I think it's a kind of minimal overhead and then quite quick. I don't think this is kind of repeatable tasks.
So then you're assuming that we are not going to create new branches. I think that is misleading. My feedback is when we say we means the committers that are able to delete, and we need to specify it in this in the minutes to say the committers can delete, but can also bring back whatever repo is deleted. And the community by projects will be enabled to do the cleanup and maintenance, because I don't believe that it's a one-off. But maybe I will be proven wrong, which I prefer. That's that.
At the moment, I don't see the risk. Delete the branches, because you can always restore them. So basically, we can say, okay, let's clean up. Just return the master branch and return the maintenance branch, basically or the bug fix branch, and then other branch can be deleted. And then if it's a bigger if, someone needs to bring up a branch, it's very unlikely, and then can restore it. So I will go ahead. I think I would suggest go ahead to, delete the personal branches, because any one of us can delete. The other branches not even owned by yourself.
Sounds great. I just wrote it, or something like this. I do not know. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so moving on, the next item I had there was just around the mail I sent out after maybe 2 Hangouts ago. No, sorry, it was after July's architecture call. No, June's architecture call. I'll get there eventually. After June's architecture call, I sent out a mail around specifications needing to start updating this matrix so that we can get an idea of who's compatible with JDK 11 at what stage and all that kind of stuff. So this is just a general prod that we need specifications to start filling this in and creating issues to fix things so that we can have an idea of, will 3.1 be compatible with JDK 11, or is it going to wait until next year, or what the situation is? So that's all that is.
I have actually today in the fault tolerance Hangout, we talk about JDK 11 support. So there's the kind of, are you talking about the APIs will be compiled by using JDK, by using the JVM 11, Java 11?
No, that's step 3. Step 1 is just to have a binary built on 8 of the spec and the TCK running on JDK 11.
All right. Okay.
And then it's to have the source compilable on JDK 11. And then the third step, which is the biggest, is to support JDK 11 APIs, because that kind of means we're not compatible with 8 anymore. So the first 2 we think we should be able to do anytime. It's just a question of getting all the specs in line. The third one might take some time, as we need to have agreement as to at what point we think it's safe to update to JDK 11 as a base.
So in your diagram here, not diagram, the table here, when you say spec binary and TCK compatible, so are you talking about the binary run on JDK? Support on the JDK, the which category? Category 1 and 2?
The first column is category 1. The second one is category 2. If you follow the links at the headings, they go to the issues in the MicroProfile project that cover them in detail.
Oh, okay.
The first one is building everything with JDK 8, but the spec and TCK can run on JDK 11. And then the next one is being able to build everything on 11, but still run it on 8.
Oh, I see. Okay, I will, I missed that issue. I will double check. Okay, thank you.
Can I add something to that line about JDK 11? And this is just for the future. If we're planning on, I know the lines are really hard, but if we're planning on having support for JDK 11, I recommend everyone to check the link I just added. It has a tweet and said, if you are coming to DevNexus and there is a project that supports 11, let's make a big splash. So there it is. That is for DevNexus 2020.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's all I had on that.
Okay. I think that's the main topics for now then. And let's go over to the marketing topic. Time box in 10 minutes. Let's try that. So Amelia, will you start off?
Yeah. Okay, so last week, Lars is still in vacation. But last week on August 1st, the white paper was launched. It's in Twitter, it's pink in Twitter. If you haven't read it, please read it so then you can retweet it and own it. As you will notice, every 4 pages, the partners' logos are added suddenly. And it was lots of work. Everyone is listed in the last page. Everyone that collaborated is listed in the last page of the document. One thing that is so cool is that this is 100% pro bono. And we have a Git that shows the process for future iterations in any documentation. Currently, Harry Sisek is working on his ebook, and like the tentative is to be published the first week of September. So he's working with the PRs with other technical microprofilers. And the wiki for how we did this is already documented under MicroProfile repo. So I will add it to the minutes. I didn't get there yet, but that's it. And further, there are issues. This paper is going to be published every Wednesday via media for the rest of the year with different designs and different messages so that it is a constant loop of information being thrown, just as we do for this call and other things. Just simple process. Questions about this? And Ryan is here. He can follow up the questions that you might have on this project and written projects such as this.
Not all at once. It's fine.
No, I mean, I went through and I tried to annotate, you know, some of my thoughts in the sheet. Sorry, in the online document. I kind of liked how we went through it first through Google Docs, which is easier for sharing. Then when we got to more of a final print, we did one last round and just annotated the PDF using the Adobe tools. So
were you okay with the Adobe tools? I think it worked pretty well.
Yeah, I already had them installed. And I already have an account. So for me, it was easy. For others, they'll have to install the Adobe tools and maybe get an account and all that kind of stuff. So
I think if you just have the free Acrobat, you can still make the changes or make comments. You don't need the Pro or anything like this. So I think everyone has free Acrobat reader.
Yes,
yeah,
the requirement. Payment.
Yeah, I can't remember which tool it was. Yeah, if it was the free reader or not, but it was the cloud-enabled one, right? So I don't know if it's all cloud-enabled now, but yeah, it worked fine. I don't think I have. I have some of the Adobe, Photoshop type stuff, which does not include Pro Reader. I don't think, and it worked fine for me. So, so keeping it up to date is going to be the challenge.
What is it?
Right. Keeping it up to date and how to deal with standalone specs.
Oh yeah, we have if you go to the drive, everything is in the document. If you go to the drive, as we get more feedback onto what to fix, grammatical errors or whatever we have missed, it's documented in a sheet, and Lars, Ryan, and I are involved, and it's already updated today with the latest annotated errors, and Ryan already fixed it. So we will do the runouts at the camp. Go ahead.
Not updated yet. I ran into bookmark issues, so I'm trying not to write out all the bookmarks again by myself. So I'm trying to figure out how to copy them over from an old
We're still learning this, but we have a process in place, and most of the data hopefully comes via Twitter, so it's open, and then it gets linked to the drive and the sheet where it's public. Even someone can write and say, "Hey, I see this mistake." They can publish it themselves. It's so open source that it is easy maintainable, to tell you the truth. So we're pretty excited about having it out. And then ebook will happen next. And the steps are written. So thanks to everyone who collaborated. Your names are in the document on the last page. And it looks awesome because it links to Twitter. You wanted more Twitter followers? Hopefully we get more Twitter followers.
5 more minutes to cover the rest of the topics as an FYI.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see my name has been put to the next topic.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to be interviewed as the next onboarding interviewee. So after this has been published, everybody will know my story on how I ended up here. So it's going to be fun, I guess.
And you're now leading release, which is awesome. Co-leading.
Yeah, actual coding.
Yeah, Edwin, I added you, but you need to add the link of the Git to the minutes. Thank you.
Sure, will do.
Okay, the next one is Emily.
Oh, yeah. So basically, in the past, I talk about talk about MicroProfile, present MicroProfile JAX. So I socialized the idea and then tweeted on the Twitter, and I collect about 51 JAX, active JAX, who are really excited for us to go to visit them. So John, if you, yeah, excellent. So last week I visited Dublin JAG, which is really, really good. I think it's also Mike mentioned on the Google group, and he's going to talk in his local JAG. So I want to bring up because in this meeting, because we have so many people from different geographic zones, and I would like to encourage each one of you to have a look at which JAGs you can go to visit to do a talk on MicroProfile. And also Amelia put the also is mentioned also you submit the sessions on the on our marketing GitHub.
Compliment.
Yeah.
Yes,
compliment. To publicize your talk as well. So this spreadsheet is in our MicroProfile drive, so we can store all the things for MicroProfile. I have another spreadsheet. Hopefully can grow, and I will bring back all the additional JAGs. I mean, for us to go for visit. So hopefully it's next time we can see this spreadsheet is populated heavily. So yeah, that's me for this.
Yeah, great. Good initiative.
Thank you.
Emily, I have to say that this is amazing. When I saw the Twitter, you joined. This is what happened. She joined the marketing call, and I think it was Genuine and Ryan. I can't even remember. And then you're like, "Oh, why are we going to do X?" And then you're like, "Let's join via the community. Let's ask." And you were so awesome. The two of you were so awesome on it. And then now we have all these things that were populated by the community, and I find that so beautiful. So just thank you for being amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for the support and yeah, spreading the word.
Okay, let's continue then. I'm also curious to the last two topics on this section.
No, it was just it was a continuation to Emily's. It should be a sub thing to Emily's. If you are in that list and you have sessions, please add your tickets. Emily added her tickets a month and a half before because she knew. So there is no need to wait. Just submit it so that it can be scheduled ahead of time and then move forward. Just forget about it. Don't wait until the week of because it will not be published as it normally is. I think Ryan even used Emily's photo. It was so cool. Java champions. If you give it more time, amazing things can be done with the design. There is a template. We have 3 templates for this. That's it.
Yeah, these tweets with the photo of the presenter or the presenters, that looks very good. So
only
I like
because
those.
Emily submitted it a month and a half ago, right, Emily?
I also saw about some
I
event in
apologize.
South America, which
cutting in here.
looked really good.
We hit our 10 minutes.
Thank you.
One thing I wanted. Heiko, you have a topic.
Yeah, there is EclipseCon Europe coming end of October, and as last year, there is also the Monday, the Community Day, and on the Community Day there will be a Cloud Native community event, also IoT and whatnot. And if you have suggestions, want a topic, come up with anything out there to present, to showcase, whatever, please add yourself, add suggestions. What we have currently on the radar is for the afternoon to do a joint community event with the IoT folks to have some PAX counter, people counters created, install them, and then get a data from them, get sent to some Jakarta/MicroProfile server process to do fancy things with it. So I'm not sure what's coming out, but anyway, if you are in the area or have good ideas, please put that in the wiki and help us make this community day a success.
All right, cool, awesome.
And make GitHub tickets, please, issue so I can promote these talks. Sooner the better. Thank you.
Okay. One thing I wanted to go back to, I think that's the end of the marketing section, and that's kind of the last of the formal agenda. But now that we have Kevin on, so Kevin, one of the things we brought up before you were able to join is we have the component releases due September 11th. So the question that Heiko had was, does that mean basically they have to be final? So they have to be approved and everything? The component specs.
Well, okay, so that kind of, well, okay, I'm going to say prior to this release, I would say yes, that they had to be final. Now, I did do it, 2 weeks in advance to give a little bit of wiggle room because sometimes, things just pop up. But now there's also the comment or the thing that you found out, and I think I'm assuming you've brought this up to the wider team, that those formal release reviews are not necessary except for what is it, once a year? Is that what you found out, John?
And I think, yeah, I'll go double check because I need to read it, and I'll provide a link to the notes in the notes. I don't know if that's true of major releases, but I think for minor releases, you may not have to. But yeah, I'll find out.
Right. So since we just did 3.0, this 3.1 would be considered a minor release, and it's a little bit easier to get through the Eclipse review process. So then the component releases being complete by September 11th is probably not as strong of a requirement. Now, I have not been putting any thought towards this, so I'm not ready to give out any new date. Maybe that's something that you and Edwin can come up with.
So Kevin, with this due 11th, is that then the RC or is this already the GA? I'm asking because of sort of like chicken egg situation where to be able to do a GA, you need to have the check by Eclipse, but you know what I mean. But if without check you can't go GA, or well, you know what I mean.
Yeah. So this means that you would have to, let's see, how should I say it? So your, let's just say it's 1.0. Your 1.1 release of something, or I guess in your case, metrics 2.1. So metrics 2.1 would have to be created, staged for a GitHub release. Now, maybe you haven't formally released the repository yet because you're waiting for confirmation from Eclipse, but from your perspective, 2.1 should be done. It should not be an RC release.
Okay.
And the
Okay,
only
thank you.
reason that, I was doing that before is just to try to force, like all this CQ, the dependency stuff, that all that work is done before trying to do the platform release, because all of that has to be done before we can do the platform release review. Well, that's where this new information from Eclipse, where they've relaxed that requirement. Okay, well, now maybe this isn't such a hard and fast rule anymore, with having these component releases done 2 weeks before the platform release.
No, okay. We were just, well, I was a bit confused with this. It can only be a GA if it's checked, but if it's within the platform, we can only do GA after everything. Well, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, so I mean, everything on our calendar has been based off of, the last couple, 3 releases. We kind of got into this cycle about getting the stuff out on the calendar and trying to, make it more noticeable as to when things are required. And so I put them out there for the 3.1 release based on the old release review information. And so maybe they need to be adjusted a little bit. Like I said, maybe I'll leave that discussion or decision up to Edwin and John.
Kevin, and let me tell you that the calendar works great for those deadlines in the tracing and tracking. I think it's really, really useful, at least in my view.
Yep. And I mean, of course you're going to like it because it was your idea.
Come on, I'm better than that, but yes. I like practicality and efficiency. I don't like to come back and be a waste of time.
No, it really, it has turned out to be very, very good. I mean, when I was driving all those releases, I relied on that. Just, okay, when do I have to have this all done? So it was good. I just like to give you grief.
Oh, thank you. Edwin, John.
Yes.
Kevin wants to know if you are going to follow the protocol of calendars and how he can adjust it if needed. Is that, Kevin, what you need?
Yeah, but I don't need it today. I mean, this is
exactly.
something that Edwin and John need to discuss and determine if the calendar has to be adjusted.
Yeah, we can take it offline. I've got some thoughts about it, but Edwin and I will chat about it. Well, with you too, Kevin.
Sure.
While we have 6 minutes, Kevin, how do you feel about being the trainee for MicroProfile 3.0? 3.1, we haven't heard from you. We heard from Edwin and John, but not you. So what's going on with you?
Say what?
You're the trainee for, you're the trainee. Mm-hmm.
I'm not the trainee.
Yes, you're the one being like, okay, you have done the past releases and you are the one that is supporting John and Edwin. So I'm saying, yeah.
I'm the trainer.
Yeah, trainer. My English.
More of a coach.
Like, yeah, I agree. Trainer.
Exactly. So give me a break. So tell us a little bit more, because we heard from Edwin and John. 3.1 is going to be big. It's before Java 1, Code 1, Eclipse. We have a patch account. I mean, what's going on?
All that I have been involved with is, as John and Edwin kind of have questions, and I think I was looking at the comments earlier. I think John's been enhancing our instructions a little bit because they've probably been a little light, for someone that hasn't been involved with it. So I've just been involved when they bring up questions. Otherwise, I'm not trying to drive anything.
That's
It's
what
a lull period too, right? It's not going to start getting to be more work until we start hitting closer to the September timeframe.
Right.
So then you feel that current process is working well, and having 2 trainees is better than 1, correct? Or no? What is your recommendation for future iteration?
Oh, I don't know that has to be 2 trainees. I think we did it this way just because we were going to do it for the first time. But I think going forward, I think if we had the one, that was used to doing a release and then another person to learn, I think that would be sufficient. But whether it's 1 or 2, I don't think it matters.
Okay, that's awesome. Any other questions? I just asked Kevin, but I would like to know from technicals, technical microprofilers like Phil, you're here. Heiko, you're here. I'm like, do you have questions about this? Crickets. Seriously, guys?
Crickets.
No,
seriously.
What not?
I mean, part of it, Amelia, is that, really our release process, because we've been doing it for quite a while, it isn't, it isn't that difficult. Now, with the new people coming on, as John has identified, we need to beef up our instructions, but, I don't think it's really going to affect Heiko and, let's say, I guess it would be Antoine that's doing the health check. They're probably kind of used to the release process, and maybe it's not really affecting them that we're bringing in new people.
If that's Heiko, go ahead.
I mean, I'm having these questions probably because we are only doing a release every 3 months, and I keep forgetting. I mean, you see my gray hair, and
4 months.
It's just.
I feel it.
See, I forgot.
See, Edwin looks younger. He should do it more often.
Yeah, but I don't have hair anymore. I can't be gray. So
Oh my gosh, I love it.
All right, so we got 3 minutes. Unless there's any other topics, I'm going to close the call.
I just want to say I tweeted via screenshot the photo of today before we went into the minutes. So if you haven't seen it, go into the MicroProfile. In future, I will do my best to screenshot it instead of taking photos. This is a feedback from Ryan. Take good photos so we can use them in meetings. Good to see you. Happy August, everyone.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and close down the call. Don't forget to update the meeting minutes if you've attended with your name. And I will see everyone. We'll all see each other in 2 weeks. Same bat time, same back channel.
Will do.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.